Okay, I'm Beata Gawryszewska. I work for Warsaw University of Life Sciences, Department of Landscape Art Institute of Environmental Engineering. And my presentation title is City Wastelands, Creating Place for Vernacular Democracy. And it was a story about our research on public informal greenery in Warsaw. Anthropology and okay, and the nature we can see in our environment is fourth nature, in fact, because first nature was just nature. In very deep pre-ancient times. Then we people started to develop places and start to produce food on the places. So second nature, fields, orchards, etc., and forests for having wood. Then third nature, parks and gardens. So idealistic image of the nature. And now we have especially in cities, something new. Ingo Kowarik says it is a novel ecosystem. There are novel ecosystems. Plant association, never seen before, with a new complex of species, native and no-native, typical for the city and typical for the landscape abroad, which provide us a completely new image of the nature. And on the other hand, we have contemporary sociologists who make research on invisible city phenomenon. It is about, you probably know it better than me, in Detroit, all the bottom-up activities by inhabitants, by city citizens, help them to create communities, help them create a better quality life environment. So what are our wastelands in fact? I just make it like this, so I stop see you. So if you want something, just say, because I cannot see your hands. So our pilots are post-industrial areas, abandoned greens, never developed plots, and also former private garden and allotment gardens. We usually found meeting places there, bottom-up made furnitures, and even bottom-up made facilities like our famous bike tracks. So we decided to prepare strong scientific project to be sure the values of wasteland are not only our our imagination, our private view on it. Here on the map, you can say maybe it is not nice visible. In the red rings, you can see 25 plots, and 25 plots, 350, more than 350 hectares area in total. And our research consisted of 4 main steps. First, plant inventory, because on the base of plant inventory, we check differences between sceneries and images of places. Then typical natural research, so soil and air, insect, carabide and pollinators, birds, and then social research. And social research is, of course, my favorite, because I was head of the social research team. So I want to say you about a bit more about this. And of course, third step about impact on emotional well-being, and final comparison of results, and producing guidelines and algorithm for our city greenery department. So very quickly, we have found rare, very precious plant species in there. Imagine the grass. This is Carex melanostachya. Treat as removed from Poland because nobody found it last 50 years. And we easily found it in the deep center of the city, on the place of former railway, how to say in English, not of railway tracks, and not in use these days. So the plant from the Red Book of Species, we have it on a place called wasteland. Phenomenal ability of catching particular matters. If you know something about Warsaw, we are really deep affected with the smog. We have our own kind of smog, Warsaw kind of smog. And in the same way, we have a problem with invasive tree called Acer negundo from America. And everybody always said, we have to remove Acer negundo from our city. But we noticed our colleagues specialized in air quality research. They found that the Acer negundo can catch up more than 10 times more particular matters than other trees.
other plants. Of course, very valuable insects. Carabidae, like that, they appeared only in very rich environments. So if they are here, it is a really nice place for nature, not just a few years after abandoned by industry, for example, and pollinators, of course, on the natural, semi-natural meadows. I see the time and I must be hurried. Sorry. Of course, very.
I think you can take your time. Oop.
Yes, I can. Okay. So birds as well. And let's see my favorite. Let's see my favorite. So preferred sceneries by people, and comfort on staying in places. And as usually we landscape architects do, function analysis. So our first and most interesting finding was in formal green areas, start to say like that, are very intensively used. We can find, for example, places for resting, for sitting, picnics, many people fishing, walking dogs, just jogging, and many other activities, showing us that there is a separate kind of greenery. It isn't a garden, of course, but it isn't a park as well. Because you can act in the places a very different way. And if I say now, there are places of freedom, in my opinion and in my heart, it won't be too much. So you can find a place in the center of city environment of town, a big European city. You can find places when you can feel and act a different way, like than in the city. And let's see our ranking of preferred places. Last place, wilderness. So if you expected Warsaw inhabitants preferred wilderness, so something which looks like just pure nature. I know it is impossible to have natural landscape in Europe, but let's treat it popular pop way, okay? We don't like wilderness like this. And next, savanna. So we called savanna places with grassland
and low herbaceous plants, and spatially grown with small trees or bigger trees. Something here on the picture you can see a former orchard, but not only fruit trees were took place in the group of our savannas. So we don't like savannas as well. We usually think it is our native kind of scenery of landscape, so we must love it. No. Not very higher, but because 9 places in our ranking is dark forest. So deep, dark, dense trees, no, only 5.3% people like it. Low thickness, 5%, 5.51. Mowed grassland. We like play on the lawn, but only 7th place. Herbaceous monocultures, we sometimes called it monoculture meadows. Scenery like this, 6th place. 5th place, loosely tree covered areas. I think the magic of places like this is to have a deep view, to have dense tree, but still you can see everything through, and you can feel more safe maybe. But about safety maybe later. 4th light forests. 3rd place, unmoved grassland. And winners are shorelines and water bodies. Always. Now we are after, in 2023, we are after 3 different projects about. And not only in Warsaw, but in small and medium cities and towns as well. Always, first place, and the first place is water bodies. And very next vicinities of water. So, like this, we hate. Like that, we love. And what was the method of the research, of the study? It was visitors employed photography. So method from the group of photo voice method, when you just ask people, regular inhabitants, daily users of the place, to show you in our case, to make a picture by smartphone on the place you like. And the place, the question was, please make a picture on the place which convinced you to return here back. And the same way we have geotracing turned on in smartphones, so we can monitor the path people went and the places they made pictures. Second, very interesting and popular in European social research now was emotional well-being impact assessment using EEG measuring. So you can see the set for gathering data, EEG, portable EEG on our one of our respondents had, and of course app on the application on the smartphone with one slide of data. You know what is alpha, beta, gamma, and theta wave in our brains. So, you are probably interesting in the results. Very, very surprising. Sorry. Results. Places which we usually find them just ugly or even unsafe, generated in our brains affect very similar to meditation. So even the environment is decorated with artifacts like this, we still can feel safety and comfortable in the place, and we can rest. Last part of research, physical traces and territorial markers inventory. Of course, we have found several types of territorial markers. We have found that's very interesting, homeless habitations there, homeless shelters, and even very small, almost all our 24 of our 25 in total plots are inhabited. They have inhabitants. They have our citizens living there. And you know, I don't feel qualified to divide city inhabitants for two sides, better one and worst. I'm only landscape architect. I should work for this and then. And we notice that people feel free with organizing places for for rest there. Even it is very, very, very close place to the regular city development. And also thinking about physical traces, we have many traces of daily using that daily using such places. When we can see rubbish, we treat it as a place which is maybe not so much valuable in the eyes of their user, but for me it is still kind of use of the place. Fireplaces. And what? And the result was kind of algorithm. Please let me show you this bigger. So this is a tool for officers, for people, for our colleagues, in fact, from the Warsaw Greenery Office. When they have a new plot and they don't want to spoil it, and they don't know it is better for having a park here or just leave it alone, or even do not people let go there because it is, I don't know, too precious. Thinking about plants and birds and other animals living there, we produced an algorithm for them. So you can ask yourself, being an officer, several questions. It is riparian area, rushes, etc. It includes the list of natural habitats on the ecophysiographic study of the capital city of Warsaw. We have a document like this. Is there any data proving presence of protected spaces, etc., etc.? And you can answer yes or not. As in other regular algorithms, you can this way answering several questions, find the best scenario for developing such a place. And we have 5 scenarios for this. So last 2 are for environmentally valuable areas. We can have ecological park, something called like this. Of the park, still ecological park, but with the possibility of bottom-up use. And if our plot, our place, have no special natural value, you can still develop it as a area of social value, for example. And if the place is the site used intensively, we have made ourselves factor for Warsaw, but we are sure that must be different factor for each city. So social park where you can use it for bottom-up activities, or natural park, similar to a regular urban public traditional park, but with a bigger emphasis of natural values. And when we prepared these four scenarios, we start to think, what about the rest? I don't remember properly. I don't have it on the slides. It's a pity. But from our 25 plots, it was in this fifth group was 2 or 3 plots only. So if we have the place with no special natural value and no special social value, for example, very far away from inhabitants from residential sites. So what? Build it up, give it to the developers? Never. Maybe not never, but our proposition is to leave it like this for 15-20 years, just as a natural biofilter. Rest of our work was preparing kind of manual, so way of use. So I can just signal it on the last 2 slides. So we thought about equipment, about localization of facilities, about a way of finding and spending money. And at the end, maybe not the end, but the end of this particular project, we prepared the slogans for each scenario. So this is only for nature. Treat it as a national park. This is for natural protection as well, but you can find your place as one of beings acting and living there. Here is just place for freedom and free creation, bottom-up creation, and realizing your grassroots initiatives. This is a regular public park, but with now, concrete pavements and a new way of thinking about public parks. This is the case is Park Kozłowskiego in just nearby my university campus, and there was a big conflict during construction of the park, because there were former allotment gardens. And after the difficult period of change in 80s and 90s of 20th century in Poland, people decided to just to stop growing vegetables and fruits there, growing food there. So it becomes in the next few years, and it starts to be very strange but very beautiful places, green places, using by people for walking dogs and walking with babies in the trolleys. And when municipalities started to turn it into the regular park to raise quality of place and quality of recreation there, people said stop. We don't want to have solid or asphalt paths and very low quality lawn. We don't want to have. Let's leave you alone. Leave us alone with our place. We have birds here. We have butterflies here and pollinators here. We have our lovely hedgehogs here. Leave it, please. And this is a kind of compromise. Very nice and still very liked by people. And our fifth scenario plays to the benefit of the climate. Thank you.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay. All right. So I unmuted now. So can you hear me, Beata?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
I can.
So I want to, we have a good crowd here. I know people have a lot of different, probably thoughts and ideas. We have a lot of different, fields and experiences represented here. I want to offer people the opportunity to ask Beata a question about presentation about Warsaw, about, how are you able to do this with the city? I think that to me is a big question. Like, how would you work with the city on this? And if you notice the camera, I'm going to go stand where the camera is pointing. You want to be seen. Like, here I am.
I stopped hear you. Sorry.
So anybody have a question for Beata? I can relay it, or you can walk to the spot. Bruce. Say a little bit about who you are, Bruce, and what do you do?
Bruce Cross, I'm former DNR field coordinator.
What is DNR? We don't know what that is.
My question is, how does government planning implementation change it?
Paul, could you be so kind and repeat the questions? I hardly hear you.
So I think maybe the input mic is here. Yeah, come on up, Bruce. Yeah.
They have a big problem because Paul asked me why we called such a places wasteland. We called it informal greenery places. But usually developers and part of municipality actors very easy called it wasteland because it is very very easy to make in the audience, in the people feeling there are nothing here. It is just ugly. It generates vandalism, and there are gangs living, sitting there, etc., etc. So first we'll be convinced people in the city municipality office it is not true. So that's our scientific proof for. And then how then start to make it to manage it using our opinions, our guidelines. They start to act first only in the Vistula Valley, because we know, maybe I can find a picture with a map. Vistula Valley in Warsaw is an area protected by law. It is very important. So we know there won't be a development, city development here. We have no buildings here, but it is a big area with a greenery, with informal greenery, formal parks and boulevards we have only here in the downtown. So they start here, and they start, for example, to decide if they can start with micro interventions here. So it will be our second and third maybe scenario, to make, for example, water permeable paths, to convince people they should stay on paths, because aside we have valuable association of plants, or a bird's nest, or other natural value. They start to localize trash bins for garbage, because you know I didn't show you two more steps of research, and one of them was semi-structured and undipped interviews with users, and almost whole people said, what do I want from the city? Cleaning. Only cleaning, removing trash, removing tins and bottles from here, not more. So they start to put bins for garbage. I don't, being honest, because probably this is your question. Being honest, I don't imagine they just put my algorithm in the place and use it. I don't think so, never. But we try to change their thinking about, and we try to give a new tool to the hands of city greenery department. I don't know I answered the question, your question, but that's the truth.
So I think what you're talking about is something that probably everybody in here understands, that this is a process of trying to move the thinking of people in government, and also in some cases of communities or other institutions to think differently about landscapes. So we have someone else. Yeah, Maria, do you want to come up, or you want to tell me a question and I will relay?
I think my voice is big enough. Can you hear me, Beata?
Mm-hmm. More or less, yeah.
Two questions.
Yeah.
First, how large is Warsaw?
Uh-huh. About now, counting Ukrainian people, about 2.5 million inhabitants. And if I remember properly, 12 square kilometers.
So
How many square kilometers?
12.
12.
So it's
200.
larger
200.
than Detroit.
No, sorry. 112. Yeah.
112 square
Yeah.
kilometers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
But
that maybe is similar.
Metropolitan about I think 300 square, but the city is yes 112.
So my second question is, are your parents in Warsaw very politically engaged? Do they vote? And if they do, is the government responsive to the requests of the citizens and the voters?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I hear you properly. If
Do people
you
vote? Do
vote-
people vote?
People vote. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. They vote.
What's the participation rate of the voting? How many people vote?
About 60%.
What's the percentage in Detroit, Maria? 18% is our.
Get above 18.
In Warsaw, about 60, and we counted very high. We are very, very proud of it. But it isn't so simple like in America, I suppose to say. Because, elder people still think that the government are the people from abroad, from aside, not their people, and they don't believe in their real participation if establishing rules and law. That's our problem. It is about communism. It is about communistic period. People don't believe they really can do something. Younger people, much and much better. But they, in my opinion, believe more in themselves and grassroots initiatives, NGOs, very popular NGOs in Warsaw about a place. The one of very famous is Miasto jest nasze. In English will be the city is our. It's our property. So it will be better, but for now, in my opinion, city officers have a really big job to do. To convince people they are really for them, and there are many participation processes and many public debates to include real people, real communities in the process of developing the city.
So that being said, is the government responsive to the questions, concerns that the residents have, or do they host these events just to check off boxes?
Is the government responsive to what people want? Or does the
Yeah.
government just go through the process or the motions to say they did something without
Yes,
actually
I'm
listening?
sure.
Yeah.
Yes, but remember, it is not easy to say what community want, because we have many communities, and in Detroit you probably know where is two poles. We have at least 3 opinions. So so that's a lesson to do in Poland, in my city, to facilitate participation processes. But landscape needs to be protected now, today, and people must have good quality greenery. I don't mean public park, no. A good quality for their needs. Greenery today, now. And a lesson of democracy, participatory democracy in Europe, especially in Eastern Europe, will be extend for, in my opinion, next 2 or 3 generation.
So we have someone else ask a question. I did want to say a simple question. Is it true that the mayor of Warsaw is very progressive, popular, and also very good looking? This is what I've heard.
Paweł Trzaskowski is a very nice guy, yes. But yes, he is very progressive. He is very up-to-date thinking guy, but in my opinion, he is most fond of legal processes and maybe social processes, and if he think about city, it's not greenery. I don't want to say he hate greenery or treats it as unimportant. No, but maybe less important.
Thank you.
But yes, now we have very nice government in Warsaw, and counting on the result of our last voting for parliament will be better.
So thank you for your presentation. I really appreciate that it's very much in the field, on the ground type of research. And my question is about the social aspects. So oftentimes, nature has often been hurt, if you will, because of human sense of security and what they identify as risk and trying to manage risk. So I was curious if you could speak to that and if there was any sort of qualitative data that you had compiled as part of your research, or if there's other research you know about
Yeah.
going on around Warsaw. Thanks.
If I understood, it is very famous type of research here, safety and unsafety, and how people feel space security and city security here. In my research, I ask. We have 25 plots and 25 respondees of our interviews as well. So to 14 were women. And I ask women about their feeling of safety in informal greenery places, and they usually said if it is after sunset, I avoid the places. Yes, but in the same time, if there is light, just lamps, it's okay. It's okay. I can use it. So in my opinion, it is very easy to make the places safety. Maybe not in the whole areas, you know, 350 hectares, yeah, but yes. It's not a matter of safety and unsafety. It's more a matter of thinking what the greenery must look like. For example, for public greenery, and I must say it like this, elder people, you have to mow lawns, you have to mow grass, because it looks like a mess. It looks like there is no government here. There is no landlord here. You have to do it, and we try to explain that we have very hot temperature during the summer, etc., etc., and we stop mowing grasses because of animals living in the grass and safety of soil living, etc., etc. Yes, then is the second place is argument of security, but there are dangerous insect in the high grass, and I'm afraid to go with a dog here. That's the problem. I can see, not just having the place unsafe because of people. You know, yes, preparing for the meeting, I have an idea to explain you the difference between the new kind of park and I think it is more giving money by municipality for city guard, for police patrol, for light, for cameras, then for new paths, trees, bench, and other city furniture. So designing a park, we have to think more about city guards than about solid paths and benches. I don't know you. I can explain my idea with my poor English. Sorry.
Hey, do we have another question? Maria, would you like to come up? Come up and just say hello. That's landscape architect
Hello,
in the house.
thank you so much. It was amazing. I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about two things. One, who owns green spaces in the city? How much of those are public? How much of those are private? And if you can tell us a little bit more about something that you have mentioned, talking about other organizations, right? The civil society, how maybe groups that are working on environmental agendas, how the work happens in between you at university, them as part of a non-government layer, and how much of that you think could be an opportunity moving forward, trying to, I don't know, trying to mediate a little bit on what the government imagines is possible, the work that you are doing, and then more thorough engagement with citizens and residents. Thank you.
In the most things I should say I don't know, but what I do know about. So in Warsaw, regarding informal greenery, about half of places, if I remember properly, start of our project, it was 2017. Half of plots was private and half state or city ownership. And of course, with the private is a big problem because you cannot do nothing with this. And usually the ownership is, I don't know how to say in English, unstable. When you have many owners, and even the owners' family don't know where they are, and they're still alive or not. So we really have a problem with private areas in the city. Your second question, the second part of the question is about cooperation between university, NGOs, and government, and I can say it is quite good, I think, but I feel there is so many things to do, and so small budget, and then your almost all your project must wait for its turn. Yes, we have many documents like environmental study for the city, and what more. Now we have a zoning plan for the city, new one prepared, and we have community, how to say, as in Polish, I don't remember the name of Polish, in Polish, the Centrum Komunikacji Społecznej, Center of Social Communication in the city. And I can say in the offices, I am 53, so I exactly remember my absolvents, my students working there now as heads of offices. So yes, the cooperation is very nice, and part of documents I am talking about is produced in with the cooperation of me and my colleagues from our university, from University of Warsaw, University, Technical University, so other schools in Warsaw. That's stop. But I always, when somebody asks me like this, that way, I can find a problem, okay, and I ask myself, so why matters goes not so well, in fact. Now I can say because it is a very new democracy, because there is many things to do. And because we have no one public city community agreement. This is thinking about Europe. This is quite a big city. And many very different people and new people, because remember, the community of Warsaw after the Second War is completely new.
Yeah, so I think there, Diane, come on up, Diane. Yes, and say hello. I think we'll maybe do one or two. Well, I've had Beata on since 9:30, so.
Thank you very much for your talk. That was very enlightening to hear. My question is, how can we increase the importance of these informal greenery to city policymakers and urban planners? I mean, your research found some really important things. You found an extinct species of sedge, and you also proved that people through the EEG study benefit. You know, there are health benefits to people, there are important benefits to nature. So why isn't this more important to the policymakers, the landowners? And I do know that the problem is not unique to Warsaw. We have the same thing here in Detroit, but your research like that should be helpful to shift some of this importance to show how valuable it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My opinion about this less importance was about Rafał Trzaskowski, not about our president. Not about all the officers and people in city government. I think it is important, the city and the greenery and nature in the city is important for the government. But you know, our vice president, Miss Renata Kazanowska, responsible for example, the schools, kindergartens, and hospitals asked me one time, you know, it is very easy to you, landscape architect, to say the environment, day-to-day environment, according to European Council resolution from 2001, European citizen day-to-day environment is most important thing on the world. But I must decide. I spent money for 10 new kindergartens or one small park. And tell me now what is more important. In my opinion, lacking of money is is guilty. It is still the problem. You asked me about urban policies or urbanism. I don't. Sorry, please repeat the first part of your question, because sorry, I don't. I forgot.
Urban planning.
Yeah, it was kind of the people who make the policies about how to restore and protect the natural areas. So I was including government and urban planners kind of in that same group, the people who can influence those decisions.
In my opinion, most powerful are NGOs now. The government always take a very serious opinion of NGOs. And we have good example. There were another picture on the poster of our meeting, and there is a kind of greenhouse, glass house in the garden. You can see it probably now. I don't know, on the wall, on the door. And there is a very famous place in Warsaw, Jazdów. It's so center of the city, downtown. And it is about 100 meters from Parliament. And another 100 meters to the other side from the government and American embassy, for example. A very high rates of the ground, very precious places. And there were very old, established in the last years of 40s of 20th century, so just after a second war, a residential site with Finnish wooden houses. You know, Finnish wooden houses and gardens. So government, city council decided to remove it, to just give people new places. I try to find pictures now. To remove such a substandard houses, to remove residents, to spend the area to the embassies and other other institution who pay more. And what? And a couple of young people said, no, it belongs to us. It is our city, it is our place, our greenery. And now, we call the place NGOs Republic. Because we have there, I don't know, more than 10 NGOs here, and we have several events like this. Several events, several initiatives, meetings. They make policies for the city, and it is very important for the city. My former doctoral students now, Dr. Maciek Łebkowski is one of the first guy in the first team who established the place. This is Maciek. Oh, please let me introduce you, Maciek. And this is one of Finnish house. Finnish because this from Finland, houses given us by Finnish people as a part of war reparation. People in Warsaw just have no places for sleeping, have no places, not houses at all. So they gave us houses like IKEA houses, yes, to make it, to build it very easily from parts. So it is deep historical value, and now very important social value. So is one of the this is one of the main actor preparing policies for the city, NGOs. So we have NGOs, of course, we have city government workers. For example, we have separate a department for natural protection, for architecture, for urbanism and architecture, and for housing. It's 3 different, and I don't know what to say more. Maybe that's
Okay, well, I want to thank you again, Beata, for taking the time today.
Thank you very much. I love to have speeches like this for American people, because they used to ask questions, and it is very nice.
We would love to be able to bring you here one of these days. I'd also love to be able to bring an expedition of Detroiters to Poland and Lithuania one of these days to see some of the things that are going on. Yes, field trip, exactly.
I cannot find I cannot find
Oh, we had a question while you're looking for that. Do you have a favorite in terms of number 1 through number 11 on the different landscape types? Do you have a favorite?
Do I have a favorite landscape in Warsaw?
Yes.
Vistula Valley.
Vistula Valley. So you also
definitely, yeah.
you also like the shoreline.
Yes, I like the river. I can say, and it is no mistake in English. The river is the person, the river who acts independently and who is quite natural. We have,
And
it is very, very, very rare case in Europe to have such a river in the middle of the city.
And of course, a very central figure in Warsaw, the symbol of Warsaw is the Mermaid of Warsaw. And when we first met, well, we were supposed to meet at the Mermaid, but I went to the wrong Mermaid because there are a couple, actually, prominent mermaid statues. So I went to.
There is a legend. Of Warsaw establishment as a town. In ancient time, there was a fisherman. I don't know how to say in English properly. And one time, he caught in his net mermaid, and the mermaid said, please leave me free, then I help you with establishing a city, and the city's name will be Warszawa, because your name is Wars and your wife name is Sava, so Warszawa. And I made the people, the city and the people living there great, and I always protect you and your city. That's the legend.
Right.
Yeah.
And just quickly, give the name of your presentation and introduce yourself so I have it. Awesome. Thank you very much. Once again.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you for, especially for interesting in our beautiful city. I check once again, and sorry, I lied, because the whole the area of Big Warsaw is 500 square kilometer. Then the city of Warsaw will be 300. Sorry, I just had gap in my mind. So that
Very good. It's a big place.
Proper numbers. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We will let you go.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Cześć.
Cześć.
Dziękuję.
Dziękuję, Paul. Dziękuję wszystkim. Do widzenia.
Okay. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.